Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is AIDIL AIMAN bin ABDUL from CS2595A. Today I will be presenting my project formulation for CSP600 and my title is Vegetation Management for Power Lines Using Image Processing. My project is supervised by Madam Noziatul Hamimah. Throughout this presentation, I will be talking about 5 main bodies, starting off with introductions, literature review, research methodology, Gantt chart, and sum up with the conclusion of this project. Let's dive into the first part of the introduction, which is background study. Power line plays a big role in modern infrastructure in which it will distribute the electricity from the source to the end consumer. This infrastructure travels various kinds of terrain and environment. Therefore, an intensive monitoring is needed to ensure the reliability of the power lines. However, vegetation is a term that refers to the collection of flora and the coverage that they are created. Managing vegetation is crucial to mitigate the risks that could happen, such as power outages and fire hazard, and ensure a reliable service of electricity. Moving on to the problem statement. Assessing information from the studies, there are 2 problem statements in this project. The first problem is the traditional power line monitoring can be expensive and risky for workers. The second problem is the traditional power line monitoring can consume extensive human effort and consume significant amount of time and can cause the delays in results. There will be 3 research questions in this project. The first one is what is the type of vegetation that occurs near power line. The second is how to apply image processing technique using machine learning. The third research question is how to develop prototype that could be used for vegetation monitoring. There are 3 objectives in this project. The first objective is to identify the criteria for the vegetation monitoring needs for power line. The second objective is to implement machine learning algorithm for image processing and classification using CNN. The third objective is to develop a prototype for vegetation measurement using machine learning algorithm. In the mission of developing an image processing system for vegetation management, there will be the needs for implementation of algorithm to recognize any overgrown or obstruction vegetation that occurs near power line. Machine learning model also will be trained and optimized to identify different types of vegetations, and then the accuracy of the system in identifying different types of vegetation will be validated. Throughout the completion of this project, the significance that will be gained is the potential of enhancement in quality service by the electric provider company by reducing the chances of power outages. The second one is the implementation of image processing will also improve the efficiency for vegetation detection process. This is the literature review map for this project, which contains the domain, technology or technique, and the related work. The domain consists of power line, vegetation, and vegetation management, where the technology or technique contains deep learning, which falls into 2, which is artificial neural network and convolutional neural network. And there are 5 related works related to this project. These are the 5 related work that related to this project. The first paper uses Hue Transform Framework, Faster RCNN Model, and Advanced SV Algorithm, where the second paper uses Support Vector Machine and Texture Clarification, whereas the other 3 papers all uses Convolutional Neural Network, where the 4th paper uses YOLO V2 model and the 5th paper uses YOLO V5 and Pix-to-Pix model. Moving on to the research methodology, there are 10 phases in the research methodology, starting off with the preliminary study, and then the data acquisition, where the data will be acquired, data comprehension, where the data will be understood, data pre-processing, where the data will be cleaned and transformed into a proper manner, model development, model training and testing, prototype design, prototype development, testing and the validation of the developed prototype, and final with the documentation of the full report. Up until this week, these are the deliverables that have been achieved. The first deliverable is the achievement of the objective 1, which covers the phase of preliminary study that have chapter 1 and the literature review. The second deliverable is the achievement of the data acquisition, which is the image dataset of the vegetations. Moving on to the Gantt chart. This is the Gantt chart that shows the whole timeline of the progress for this project. By this time, there should be the completion of the first phase, which is the background study, the knowledge acquisition, the literature review, and it should be ongoing for the phase of data acquisitions. In conclusion, deep learning technique will be used in this project for vegetation management for power lines, since most of the papers have implemented this technique and it seems to have a good results. A few models also will be used and will be compared the result to see which one have the best performance amongst all. For the upcoming time frame, the phase of data acquisition will be continued and the next phase, which is data comprehension, will begin. And with that, I say thank you for watching and thank you for your time. Assalamualaikum.